Hey guys, welcome to Protocoders Point. Okay, so this is the third part of our tutorial on Amazon S3 bucket like service by making use of Node.js. Okay, so in this part we are going to work on database. So we are going to make use of MongoDB database to store all the data of a user like uploaded data. So whenever the user uploads any files in a server, we will just keep a record of the uploaded file in our MongoDB database. Okay, so for that we need to create two database. One is user schema model and one is upload schema model. Okay, so let's get started with it. Okay, so first of all, let's work on database connectivity. So in configuration file over here, just create a file and name it as db.js. Okay, so this file will help us in connecting to our database, that is MongoDB database. Okay, so for MongoDB database we will make use of Mongoose library, as you can see over here. So it has been installed. So if you want to install, you can just enter a command, that is npm I mongoose. Okay, so it will get installed in your Node.js project. Okay, so here we need to import our Mongoose. So const mongoose required mongoose. Okay, so importing mongoose package. Okay, so for database connectivity here, let's me create a connectivity variable, and let's make use of mongoose dot create connection. Okay, so here we need to pass two parameters. One is the URL of our MongoDB. So our MongoDB is in localhost, so I can just make use of localhost URL. So the localhost is 127.0.0.1. Okay, and the MongoDB will always work on port number 27017. Okay, so after that here we need to give a name of our database. So I will just name it as bucket S3 bucket. So I can just name as S3 bucket. Okay, so this is our database name. Okay, so here dot on, so open. So when this will get opened here, we will just show a message on the screen, and then here on error. Okay, so when there is any error being found during the connectivity, we can just show a message on the screen. Okay, so here what I will do is I will just print a log. Okay, and in error, so I will just print MongoDB error. So I will just print as MongoDB error. Okay, and now here module dot export connection. Okay, so now if I want to run this file, all I need to do is I need to just navigate to configuration file and run this db.js by making use of node. Okay, so cd config node db.js. Okay, so you can see our database got connected. Okay, so this is the file for database connectivity. Okay, so now let's create two files for database tables, you can say, or a collection, you can say. So first one will be our user model. I will just name it as user model.js, and second one will be our upload model, uploads.model.js. Okay, so in this schema we will store all the data of a user, like registration will be done in this table, and whenever a user want to upload any files into a database, so the record will be maintained in this table. Okay, so let's create a schema over here. Okay, so let's work on user schema model. So first of all, we must import this db.js file in this file. So here const db is equal to require configuration db.js. Okay, and here we also need to import our mongoose model. So here mongoose. Okay, so from mongoose we need to import schema model. So for that, const mongoose. So from mongoose package, I'm going to just import schema. Okay, so you can do something like this. Okay, so now let's build a user schema model. So for that, over here, const user schema is equal to new schema. Okay, so in user schema, I will just store two data. One is username and one is API key. So this is the dummy project. So I'm just storing two data of a user, that is user name and API ID. Okay, API key you can say. So here I will just name it as user. So the data type will be okay, and the second one will be a API key. So that will be also of type string. Okay, and let's create a timestamp also and make it true. Okay, so here in timestamp it will automatically store at what time this record was been created, means when the at what time the user has registered himself. Okay, okay, and now const user model is equal to db dot model, and here we need to give the collection name, so I will just name it as user, and here I just need to pass the schema that we have created above. So this I'm just passing over here, and this is the collection name where this data will get created. Okay, okay, so now by making use of module.export, I will just export it. Okay, so the same thing I need to do in upload also. So what I will do is I will just copy this thing and paste it over here. So here I am just importing database connectivity Mongoose library. So from Mongoose library I am importing schema model, schema class. Okay, and then here I will just change the name to upload schema. Okay, and here inside this I want to store data of a uploaded file. For example, which user has uploaded this data, I need to store it over here. So I'll just remove this thing, and here I also need to import user model for referring the user ID. Okay, so here const user model is equal to require model user model. Okay, so here I'm going in this schema, I'm going to store user ID. So user ID, something like this. So here so the type will be schema type. So schema dot type dot object ID. Okay, and the reference will be from our user schema model name. Okay, and then I want to store file name that the user has uploaded. Okay, so this will be of type string, and which type of file it is, that is mine type. Okay, so this also I can keep it as string. Okay, and the path of the file where the file has been uploaded on the server. Okay, so this also I can store it as string. Okay, and now let's use this schema and pass it over here, and I will just change the database name as table name as upload. So in MongoDB we call tables as collection, so I can just call it collections or anything. Okay, so here user upload upload model. Okay, so our schema has been created, as you can see. Okay, so let me open my MongoDB compose and let me show you a dummy data that I have stored before. Okay, so you can see here I have a bucket task. So it has two collections, one is user collection and one is upload collection. So collection I have registered a user, so the user's data will get stored something like this. So as you can see, username is Rajat and the API key given to this user is this. Okay, and when the user has registered himself, the data will be stored in this created data. Okay, and the same thing, whenever this user, a particular user, uploads any files to the server, the same record will be maintained in this collection. For example, so you can see this user has uploaded this data to the server. Okay, so the data MIME type, that the document type is of type image, that is JPG, and this is the file of the path, or the path where the image has been stored. Okay, so this is how we can just record the data. So for this we need to create the API, so we will do it in our next part, that is the fourth part. Okay, so that's all for this video tutorial. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe. Protocol Response. Thank you.